Yo, welcome back, man. First smoke of the day, episode 20. Big legendary episode today. We're live in the Cookies Lounge right here in Amsterdam, Netherlands. Joined by my co-host Blackleaf.
What up?
Pat God's checking in. Man, super special guest and super honored for the time and just to be able to connect and talk with this man. And we welcome Joa from Greenhouse Coffeeshops. How are you, brother?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Thank you very much for coming.
Absolutely, bro. Thank you for having us in this beautiful lounge you created.
Yeah, man. You're
So
welcome.
stoked to have you here, man.
Love it.
This is legendary.
Yeah.
I mean, we got strain hunters pictures on the wall. We got videos going through huge grows.
Big burners in the Dior with the cookies chain on the picture on the wall.
Yeah.
You
Super
got the
cool.
cookies light on the roof. A lot of details in the shop.
And that photo over there is in Morocco. And actually, believe it or not, it's without any filter.
Wow.
It's just like this.
Arjan,
you know?
strain
Yeah.
hunters. Shout out to strain hunters.
In literally the half of a mountainside of cannabis.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. That's a great photo.
And we got some big flavors in front of us too.
Yeah, I love it. We got Marijuana Mania playing in the background on YouTube. This is the kind of experience you want when you come into a lounge and you want to smoke some herb and smoke some of the best herb too. So, Joe, without further ado, brother, just appreciate having you on, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much.
What do you got going on? What are you up to today?
Talking with you guys.
got you for the whole day?
I like it.
Talk to us about some of these flavors that you picked out to give us a roll up.
Yeah.
Let me see. What are you
Let's
opening
grab them.
over
Let's
there?
show them.
It's the cookies and cream.
Yeah, so that's a really nice one. That's like a Kali strain grown in the Netherlands.
Good
You know,
nose.
we've been around for a long time, and then the Dutch were, had the strong strains in the 90s and then 2000, everything. Well, still of course, but then Kali caught up, in a big way, I can say, and then so now we're catching up, and now we caught up actually. So now you see
like
these really
that.
nice strains in America, and I really like that. I really like sometimes on social media you see a little bit like the two sides. I'm like, why? There's no two sides, man. It's united.
Exactly.
It's like one world, one love for cannabis. So I like it this way.
Yeah. I think we're all fighting similar battles.
Yeah.
We all want the things we don't have. Like, I mean, the coffee shops here, we would love to have these. We have nothing like this,
No.
and then the cultivation laws, I'm sure you guys would absolutely love.
And sometimes on social media, you see, we're posting something and then somebody is commenting like, well, the stuff in America is much better, in California. And then you want to say this whole story where you're not going to even bother, but I'm like, hey, I went to San Diego in the 90s, right? 93, 94. I studied there for 1 year, stayed in San Diego, Los Angeles. And back in the day, me as kind of a tourist or like a guy from Amsterdam, I was looking for weed. The best I could find was like some Mexican shit,
man.
And then later, after a couple of months, I saw some guys with medical cannabis, and guys that were connected with normal and everything. I got more into the cannabis like vibe and
You met
culture.
some surfers.
Yeah, met some servers, so I kind of, upgraded.
Yeah.
But then, look, if I had the context I have now, it wouldn't be a problem. I would, call my friends and we'd be smoking good weed. But back in the day, if you would come to Amsterdam in 93, 94, you could go to the coffee shop and buy some Master Kush or
Smell good.
later on the hazes and everything, So, okay, America is doing really good, but they should, right? I mean, it's legal. So why wouldn't you grow great weed?
Yeah.
If it's legal.
I feel
it is.
I feel like it's two different experiences, and you got to appreciate every place for what they offer, because even in America, when you go within the states, much different experiences within the shop, within what you can do, within what you can buy, all these things. So I feel like you got to appreciate everywhere for what they got and what they're doing, but it's definitely got a ways to go.
Yeah.
And it's interesting what's going on here now. You guys are doing somewhat of like a test run or something with some licensing.
Oh yeah. They call it the experiment because we've been fighting to legalize for decades, and as for some political parties, it's just too scary, so they don't want to do it. So what they came down with is like an experiment in 10 cities, and 79 coffee shops are entering. And they gave out 10 licenses to supply the coffee shops with legal weed, basically.
Okay.
So they're like in the process of starting this up. So maybe within 1 year, 2 years, maybe we will have the sale of the first legal weed in the Netherlands. Because like you guys experienced probably when you came here, you thought Amsterdam, everything is, legal and everything, but the opposite is true.
Yes, absolutely. It's very not easy to grow here. It's not easy to have all the background stuff. And it's really cool to see you guys thriving, man. I mean, this is a vibe and the strains too. I see the Mac over there.
Yeah.
And there's some rich history with that, I hear.
Yeah, the Mac is really nice. I was working with Arjan at the Emerald Cup a couple of years ago when we could still travel. And we were speaking with Capulator, who made the Mac, obviously. And he used our Super Lemon Haze in a lot of his strains. So, that's just great to hear,
Yeah,
we were chatting and everything. And I don't know if you've been to the Emerald Cup, but
absolutely,
every year booth, in the last 3 years.
So, his booth had like a 3-hour long line, with people waiting to be served.
And then he's got the hat on.
He's got the hat on outfit. And everything. Yeah. And then we passed by and we got, we were chatting at him at some point. I was like, hey, dude, you need to help the people, man. There's like a 3-hour line in front. He's, so big at the Emerald Cup, So it's really an honor also for him to say that, and it's nice to see because, we're all fishing in the same pond, right? With the strains and everything. And we're all trying to create something really beautiful. And then if something happens and this, you can see the Mac is already a legendary strain.
Yes, it is.
You can see it's already a classic, So yeah, that's really nice,
It's funny because it's like, Amsterdam growers and Dutch growers, right, are looking for Cali right now. And I feel like a lot of Cali growers are looking for old Dutch genetics, like hazes. And I mean, Buddha cheese, Exodus cheese, like you name the cheeses that they're going after everything. It's funny how life is always, you're always looking for the other side. Life's always greener. Yeah.
And I like where it's still going, it's like, we're not done yet. Never done. But, when we were at the Emerald Cup and we see our friends and Seeds Junkie and everybody, and they put out like 35 different jars with all different flavors. And it's like literally every jar is a different fucking flavor,
Crazy.
Yeah. So
flavors are crazy.
That's amazing, man. And then this was 2 years ago. So now you have more of the fruity flavors, but then you did was more gassy, right? 2 years ago. So then so you're like, wow, this is great, man. Like pineapple and like all the
we talk about it now. The new wave is candy gas, like Skittles with like gas. And it's just, or it runs with gas or like something, the lemon cherry flavors.
But with that gasoline back. So when you hit it grabs your chest and won't let you go. But you still get the flavor because we had the gas and then we were like, we got something new, which was the fruits and the flavors. Now we want both. We want it to taste like pineapple, but hit us like OG.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's like it's awesome, man. And it's amazing to see some of the fire weed here. People, I won't lie. A lot of people say, oh, well, Cali's got this, or, and they buff up their chest and they tell you this. I'm appreciating so much fire out here. Even the hashish. I'm enjoying all of them. And then amazing Dutch growers, guys that care so much. Nothing's different. It's all the same, like you say.
And you need to realize when people say that, and maybe we can reach some people by saying this, don't forget that these Kali strains that I show you here, this Wonder Pie and, which is an amazing strain as well. It's a wedding cake times OG Kush. Really, really nice flavor. And cookies and cream is grown here. But here, the situation, what you see here is kind of legal. It's tolerated. It's not even legal, But so the guys that grow this do it in a really, difficult situation, right?
Yeah.
If they get caught, they get kicked out of their house. If they have children, they go to, protected service or, what you call child,
Right.
And if you have a job insecurity, you lose your job. If you rent a house, you're 5 years on the black list. You can't rent another house. This is pretty serious problems, And 10 years ago, it wasn't like this. If you were caught 10 years ago with 2 kilos or a couple of plants, it was like a slap on the wrist, and it was, hey man, never do it again. And you're like, oh man, I'm sorry. You do it one more time, they catch you again. And then you stop, you choose a different path, But now it's first time you're in deep deep problems, you know. So if you compare that to like the facility, well, you guys have a facility in California, right? If you walk around there, give us a few rooms where we can innovate and we can cross strains and pheno hunt and, you know, make new strains, we'll be ecstatic, you know. We'll be over the moon.
Oh, man. And then you take the Dutch genetics and we start to tinker with the Cali genetics and start to weave and dodge and duck and, you know, what you guys do best.
Yeah. So basically the people that think in the two sides, you know, like this one is better or that one is better. No, man, it should be one situation all over the world. It should be legal everywhere.
It's a global thing.
Nobody should go to jail and nobody should be in prison, you know, and nobody should get into problems. And everybody that want to smoke should get it, you know, freely and in a, you know, in a sensible way, you know.
Some of the original breeders would go out and get them the landrace strains, bring them back and then start to breed certain ones together.
Yeah.
So that's happened from the beginning.
Yeah.
It's just some of the new guys that haven't seen the collaboration and the passion between people. That doesn't change. I'm meeting guys out here that, you know, we connect on the weed level and it's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Man. And I won't lie, the hospitality here, where you can get a green tea and I can sit here with you, you know, and I'm in the lounge and I'm getting the hospitality is not like anywhere else I've ever been.
No. Nice. No, but I think in that way, you guys are catching up now. I think there's some lounges. I was in San Francisco a couple of years ago. Barbary Coast.
That's a good one.
That's like the only good, you know,
that's the best one in all of California, probably one of them.
Yeah.
You know,
but
it's not like
I
this.
heard of some plans that, you know, it's like
Las Vegas is supposed to be coming online with lounges.
Yeah.
I think that could be, you know, a big play for sure.
Yeah.
If they can get it right, they could be the model that other states could follow for sure. And then, you know, I mean, I think anybody should model Amsterdam. Yeah. You guys have the coffee shop lounge down perfect.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny what you said earlier about if a Cali brand gave you some space in there, you would love that. I feel the same way for Cali brands over here. You know what I mean? That like them having a footprint in here and being able to send one of their people you know, stuff like that and you know what I mean? So I feel like it's mutual, you know what I mean? And that there is a connection there and that it'll come together. Cause like you say, it's a global thing. Yeah. Like with the strain hunters, I mean, you guys have made it very, very clear that this is, it's all over the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so that's I like that. And I'm excited for the future of that. And
it will happen, you know, like I said, I started with IN in 1995. So it's a while ago. And back then I was just a bartender, basically, you know, started as a bartender, needed to pay the rent.
It's good for people to hear.
Yeah, and I'm still around, you know, and I can tell you every year it was different. You know, we've been through medical cannabis. I started strain hunters. We've done different projects, and then this country started to legalize in that country, and so many different things. And still every year things are different. You know, now last year Thailand came to us for consultancy. It was like, oh wow, man, whoever would have expected that like 10 years ago? Amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's that? Have you guys been out there to check things out or?
Yeah, we have a medical company kind of where we have a guy, we're working, a professor, and he's doing a lot of research on cannabinoids. There's been done a lot of research. Of course, he's kind of like categorizing everything and, you know, giving colleges and at universities and everything. So he went there also to Thailand because sometimes first you have to inform the government and they need to get all this information. Of course, you have to take away the stigma of cannabis, you know,
exactly,
and put it in through that angle from that perspective, you know.
Is there any other areas or places outside of the country that you've been working with or focusing on or looking at for expansion?
Well, before COVID, we have a thing in Canada. Yeah, that's a whole different story.
Yeah, that's cool.
We know that. You know, it's
awesome, leave it at that.
Yeah, leave it at that. Let's just say people
dope, though.
People think with millions on the bank or even billions, they think they can make cannabis a success. And actually 4 years later, we find out that, we knew it from the beginning, of course, because you can't buy you know, the respect, and you can't buy, you know, cannabis culture is like
culture,
hip hop culture or skateboard culture. You can't buy the originality, you know, how do you say that? You know, legitimacy.
legitimacy.
You can't. It's not for sale. Even if you give Snoop Dogg like $10 million to
doesn't matter.
Put his face on a bag of weed, if the weed is shit, nobody's gonna buy it.
100%.
So that's good to find out. So even if Coca-Cola would enter with I don't know like how many billions they have, they still have to work hard to gain the respect of everything. The respect goes through the cannabis. So so they are learning a lot of lessons. So we are there also seeing. I mean, of course, it's also great that they legalized. We're the first to legalize in a federal way. Yeah, I have to give them also some respect for that, of course.
And going big. Very big.
Yeah, that's really great. So I mean, they are kind of the first. So it's easy to say they're doing it wrong, but of course, they are the first to do that big. I can imagine if America goes legal federally. I mean, there will be some fuck ups, along the way for some countries,
It'll be crazy. There'll be a lot of people are talking about state to state too, like, because California, are they still going to want California?
Interstate,
and then how much will it be taxed? And that's all the crazy stuff, man. But I it's funny because the grass is always greener.
Yeah.
We love it here.
Yeah. And then other countries are of course, in the States,
Absolutely. Talk to us about the States. What do you guys have going on over there?
Well, we are there for a while, but it's not easy. You guys have a facility. You know how it is. Yeah, and first of all, you need to find the right partners. That's the most important thing, because, like I said, we would
in life.
Yeah, in life. Yeah, really.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah. So for us, it's really simple to find the right partners. We have to be able to go for dinner somewhere and just to be straight with each other and honest, and that's already half the job.
Go off your
the
instinct.
business side will sort itself out.
Absolutely.
Never take it from the other way when people come to us with like the opportunity, the golden ticket and everything.
Doesn't work like that.
No, we don't go for that. So,
and you've learned that in business. That's a time tested thing.
People should know it.
Yeah. In the beginning, it's pretty funny because when I was like 10 years ago or 12 years ago, when it kind of started in the States, right, in California and everything, there were already people with a lot of money coming here, but there was a lot of there were all kinds of businessmen, right? So of course they have money, they don't have brands, and we have genetics since the seed company is from 1985, right? So we have the classic. So obviously we get people coming in, approaching us, and the first meetings we had, it was a summery day like this, and I was with my flip flops and iron, with shorts and everything. We just went to a meeting, and there were like 6 lawyers sitting there, and the businessman doing his presentation, and we were like looking at each other like, what the fuck is this, man? Where's this business going?
Yeah.
So we heard a lot of those stories, and a lot of people came to us. But like I said, finding the right partner is essential, right? So I was traveling a lot through California, Nevada, and being with friends. I would prefer to do it with friends and just have a
people that you've known.
Yeah, and have a great story. And it's not about the money. It's just about spreading and then doing something great.
Yeah, absolutely. Building something amazing that even lasts past you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can tell you have good style and you've got like youthful taste. How have you like kind of stay connected with like what's going on with the younger people and the new waves? And
are you saying I'm old then?
No, not at all. Not
the opposite.
Not at all. But I'm just saying that it stands out that, right away, the brand you wear and the way you are, I can tell that, you're a tastemaker and that hasn't changed. So how have you managed to stay connected to that and like, incorporate it in things like, the inspiration to do, renovate and do like the Cookies Lounge and take that route? Like what made you want to make that decision and go that route?
Yeah. Well, in the beginning, when I came from the States and I saw what cannabis was over there, I realized that I grew up in Amsterdam. I was actually born here around the corner of this place, on this canal, and back in the 70s. But then it was a different area. I can tell you, it wasn't like Porsche like it is now,
right?
And it was more like a ghetto.
That's how you start.
And then I realized we have a coffee shop culture, in Amsterdam back in the day, especially, and for us, it was normal to buy weed and to buy hash and we play pool and then play some foosball, and be with friends. And that was our cannabis culture. It wasn't about, hey man, what's the founder of this strain? Where does it come from? Is that like a Panama Red crossed with this one?
I got weed.
Yeah. And yeah, exactly. And it was kind of normal to just buy it, So when I was there, and I couldn't find any. I got more, into, met some service, like you said, and got more into the cannabis culture. And I saw that there's a difference, And I was always in coffee shops and smoked weed and hash, and I wasn't in bars drinking a lot, and I had a great youth. I was, you don't see any aggression. It's like being in Amsterdam. I had the best childhood.
Absolutely.
Can't complain. Yeah, I see. If I don't know. I stand by the product, man. I just love it,
Yeah.
And,
you've managed to, allow it to keep you young throughout your journey for sure.
Yeah. And then always being involved with those kind of things. I noticed the people, even if the people we work with are getting younger, it's like sometimes I notice it, of course, like,
right.
and I'm in a podcast and there's some 19-year-old hip hop guys. So I'm thinking, hey, he's like, I'm like triple his age. But at the same time, I realize it doesn't make any difference. Doesn't matter,
Experience.
So I'm really ignoring.
One feeds the other and it's vice versa. It's necessary.
Yeah. Exactly.
But I feel like some people in business, they resist it and then other people embrace it.
Yeah.
And the people that embrace it, it's just real interesting, like the difference,
in
that they keep evolving with it.
You were the first to do this.
Yeah.
Everyone saw the same things you saw, but you guys were the first to say, you know what, let's completely, we're going to do a collaboration project. We're going to strain Hunter's cookies. Boom, Amsterdam, unbelievable.
Yeah, but this is also a friendship thing, another business thing, right? So when I was when we were renovating the shops, and Burner was coming to Amsterdam already like a long time. Like when we opened this shop, he put a post on his Instagram, like when he came here as an 18-year-old boy, to High Times Cannabis Cup, and he used to come in the shop, and when back in the days when we had the High Times Cannabis Cups, we would sit with everybody. We'd say, hey, bro, where you from? Because some guys came from a small city in Texas, back in the 90s was like so super fucking illegal. His parents were in jail. The guy had to save up 10 years to buy a plane ticket. It's like amazing stories, So we were talking with everybody, and Burner came and we were chatting with him, and he remembered, and, we stay in contact always, So from way before cookies, and then when cookies happened, of course, as well, when he was here in Amsterdam a while ago, we were having dinner, and he has this lemonade line, and we have the super lemonades, right? So we're smoking some good weed and everything. We're like, hey, bro, why we don't do the super lemonade? We make a super lemonade, And like, wow, great, So now we're working with him to see how we can create some. We use our super lemonades to create some new strains.
Wow,
and just see what comes out of that. But it's very casual, I must say. Yeah, it's sometimes maybe cool. Too casual, because we're not like, maybe sometimes we need to be more like, with deadlines and
you guys are breaking bounds though.
Yeah.
You're breaking bounds.
I think the important moves are happening. We're sitting in it.
Yeah, I think so too. So, and like that, it works the best,
Absolutely.
So when we were, when COVID started, of course, traveling stopped, like for everybody in the whole world. And then we used our time to renovate the shops, So we did one by one.
Very smart.
And then when we did this shop, it was, we were renovating here. And I was talking with Burner about, starting doing a dispensary in Amsterdam or a coffee shop, But it's a difficult situation. So I was just shooting him a video from this space, this room.
Wow.
So how about, we create your own lounge so that when you come to Amsterdam, you have your own place, and, we have something together. And it's no contracts, no nothing. It's just a friendship thing. Yeah,
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah, so that's really great,
Wow, that's huge, man.
And I'm
that's
stoked.
almost unheard of too, but that's really dope because two completely different countries and cultures, and that goes to show you right there. That's the type of stuff that needs to happen in the community for sure.
And he started off with saying it's about the relationship more than it is the business.
And he said it's he's since 18. That's some years.
Yeah, it just shows you that they live by that. That's not just a saying.
And
it's
that,
not just a
nothing
phrase.
happens overnight.
Yeah,
nothing happens overnight. This definitely didn't happen overnight.
I got to watch
this. Is like the most modern vibe. new age shop that like, this is like what Cali would hope to have for a smoking lounge.
Yeah.
You know, so you guys did an amazing job.
Well, send us an invitation and we'll come.
Hey, we need you to come over and talk to some lawmakers and politicians over there and spend some time over there too.
Yeah.
They gave out some licenses though in LA, right? In West
I think
Hollywood.
absolutely.
8 of them, I think.
And I
they
think
already built some, or
2 of them.
Interesting.
One of them's built, and then the second one I think is under construction. But it's not this.
Yeah,
no,
I'm going to be honest. It's not. And it's and everyone talks about that point of it. That is not this. And they've already had to rebrand once. And they haven't been open a year.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting. It's going to figure its way out, and it's going to struggle.
Yeah, you really can't be both right now. Like cookie shops can't be a cookie. They can't have a lounge there. You know, so it's like weird, you know, it's this weird thing.
And now, honestly, with the lounge market, it's almost like separate companies got into it. They aren't the cannabis companies.
No, that's not.
So it's a very
interesting
thing.
Yeah.
And 8 of them throughout West Hollywood.
Yeah.
And nowhere else in like Southern California.
We've only seen one pop up. It was Lowell's
the desert. Yeah.
And they rebranded Cannabis Cafe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and the restaurant. I was in the restaurant one time.
That's the one.
Where you could.
Exactly.
What was it called? Lowell's.
Lowell's, and then OG Cannabis Cafe is what it is now. Yeah. Very nice, very nice. But I'm gonna be honest, we've been enjoying it so much here.
Yeah, it's different. And you know what? With the COVID, we had had a major impact in the Netherlands. Also, I mean, everything was shut down. There was a lockdown. You could not recognize the city. It was like a ghost town. Like from here to the center was nobody on the street.
It was like that everywhere.
Yeah. and actually it was funny. I'm getting from one to the other. It doesn't matter. We're smoking anyway. So
no, we're good.
So what was funny is in the first day, on a Sunday, I remember at 5:30, the prime minister came on television and he said, "Hey guys, it's going really bad." In my words, we have to shut down everything at 6 o'clock, right? So what happened? Everybody was thinking, wow, I don't know how long this is going to take. I'm going to go to the coffee shop. So there were like huge lines in front of the coffee shop, you know, but hundreds
out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
We heard about this.
Yeah, you probably saw it because it became, it was in the media in the world.
We just heard.
Everyone's telling us too.
And then the good thing was, of course, that now the politicians they had to face fact, right? I mean, everybody loves weed. A lot of people love weed, you know, and so we were, and then what you saw was immediately actually illegal, like dealers were handing out menus in the line, you know, to the people, you know, offering everything, like, but not just hash and weed, but other drugs as well. So
like down in red light,
yeah, and that's exactly that's why we have this system originally, you know, to separate the two. So the good thing was that one day later, 24 hours later, we were declared essential business, you know, because I would really like to see those discussions in The Hague where the government is like, what the fuck is going on, man? So many people in front of the shop. Literally. You know, so that was funny. So then we were essential business, and then what did I want to say during COVID? Oh yeah, then what you saw was a lot of but it was only open for takeaway. So the hospitality part was closed, right? So what you saw that a lot of coffee shop owners also were like, not everybody came in through the cannabis door. You know what I mean? You can get into the coffee shop business in a different way. So some had a bar and sold weed, and they turned their bar into, you know, but they're not cannabis real. You know, everybody is in a different way, right? Right. So some were like, hey, I don't mind this takeaway business, right? And it's like much easier. Don't have all the headache from, you know, people who are sick and, you
less
know,
expenses.
It became a whole business model.
Yeah.
Like they have it where it's one kitchen, but like 14 brands, and they're all on Postmates and Uber Eats and all these different things. And it's called like a ghost kitchen.
Yeah.
And so that's a whole new hospitality model now.
Yeah.
And it's just like Thai brands, Mexican brand, like it's just different cuisines of foods and different brands, and they just pop up, delivery only, takeout only.
What do you think about it though? I mean,
no,
it's pretty crazy.
There were some discussions, you know, like, hey, this is kind of great. I was like, no, this is not, because this is not cannabis culture.
There's no, what we talked about when we came over here is that you guys still have a social society. In the US, we have a much less social society.
Yeah.
It's people sitting on their phones and not really being social or interacting or being present in the moment.
Yeah.
Here, when I take a stroll, when I look around, most of the city's riding bikes, number one. And then number two, people are really conversating and communicating and having tea, having coffee, having food, walking and talking. No one's really just sitting on their phone, staring at their phone. I haven't really seen that here at all. 1%. No. It's not the culture. No. So
the lounge culture represents that too, because look, I mean, it's beautiful.
Yeah, everyone's hanging out, interacting and stuff.
And I think well, actually, I was seeing the news yesterday in Chicago. Some terrible stuff going on. You know, a lot of shootings and everything at the moment, like record numbers, so which is really bad. And I think what you guys need is that, right? I mean, a coffee shop like this. If we look out, if we look down and see who's in the shop, I can bet you $100. There's people from different religions, different backgrounds, rich, young, rich, poor, young, old. Everybody is a mix of people sitting downstairs. And the funny part is everybody's socializing with each other, you know, and actually that's kind of unique. You don't really see that anywhere in the world, you know?
No, not at all.
No, you really don't.
We've been meeting growers and people from everywhere. I mean, Germany, with the last session, we passed a joint to some Germans. Yeah, we just talking.
From France. They're from all over, and they're coming here to enjoy their smoke and enjoy their time together and just relax. Like it is a totally different society, and it's good to see that. It's probably one of the most social societies that you can come to and visit.
I'd love to hear about how you made your way up. You said you started as a bud tender. I think people, I'm being honest, people want to know that. Like,
what was your first time smoking weed?
I think when I was 12
or hash. Was it weed or hash?
No, when I was 12, I remember I had a friend and he said his brother was growing weed. And I was like, wow, man, that's exciting, man. We should steal some flower from him, you know, so we can smoke it. So
very common.
And I don't want to sound old, but back in the day, we didn't have internet, right? And so, I didn't, not so many books, you know, or I didn't even see the high times yet.
I remember AOL. So I'm up there.
Yeah. And then so the next day he came with a leaf, and I was 12 years old, right? So I was just seeing, wow, this is the cannabis leaf. You know, I was seeing what do we do with it? I don't know. I think you have to dry it, you know.
Yeah.
Then we put it in a book, waited a couple of days or weeks, I don't remember, until it was completely brown, and then we like crumbled it up and we smoked it, and I was like, no, this is not good, man. This is not what this is not
your
what
brother's doing something wrong.
Yeah. So
you ate the peel, not the fruit.
Yeah.
There we go.
Exactly. So then we just asked somebody else to get some, you know, weed from the coffee shop back in the day, a lot of hash also. So we smoked the hash, you know, and then from that moment we smoked.
And it was a joint with tobacco?
Yeah, that's
that's the culture, right?
That's culture, man. I'm trying to teach my children not to use tobacco.
Okay.
And then still they get persuaded to do it.
It's everywhere out here.
Yeah.
That's a tough topic too, because now you guys are saying no tobacco, but it's in the culture for everyone to smoke tobacco in their joints. So for the coffee shops, what's that been like? Because we've kind of heard like, you know, mixed things from people.
Yeah, mixed things. Yeah. And we're on the part where for us it didn't make such a big impact because I'm, you know, I'm not anti-tobacco like extreme like actively, but you know, I just don't want to smoke tobacco, and I prefer it if, you know, my friends don't. Like if you guys were now rolling up with tobacco, it's like I wouldn't like it, you know.
Yeah.
You guys wouldn't like it either, but
no,
you know. So
it's not enjoyable inside anywhere.
I tried it since I've been here.
Yeah.
I wanted to try it once
with some hash,
just to try it, you know,
with some hash.
I was like, this is intense.
Yeah.
This is, I mean, a whole nother level above just weed. People think the joints we roll in California are huge. They're like, oh man. But the tobacco is a whole nother level of the cake.
Yeah.
You know,
and when, you know, I've two older boys, you know, they're now 17 and 19, but when they were like 13, 14, it's kind of the age when I was driving in the car with some of their friends. And then after 1 hour, one friend would pop the question, you know, like, so can you tell me the difference between, you know, sativa and indica for you? Oh, here we go. Okay. So, and then like most parents would probably say, don't smoke weed, man. But, you know, well, maybe we wouldn't. But the only thing I would say is like, guys, if you start to smoke weed, it's completely fine. Weed. But please don't use tobacco, you know, just roll it pure. And but why not? Everybody's smoking with tobacco. You smoke it a couple of times and you get hooked on the tobacco. You know, that's the bad thing. That's where we get a bad name from as well. You know, people.
Dad's one of the weed gods. We need to ask him. It took about an hour before we would say anything.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
What's it like being a weed dad?
Yeah.
Well,
the weed dad.
Yeah,
The weed,
for them it's normal. Sometimes I'm like, hey man, if we have some weed or we're going to a show or see Rihanna or whatever, it's like, hey guys, this is actually pretty cool. But they're like, for them it's normal.
Yeah.
No,
100%, yeah.
No, at one time was
more
funny
work
with
for them.
He was 15 or something, and then we went with a friend. We saw a Wiz Khalifa show and A$AP Rocky.
Dope. Yeah,
and then after the show, we went backstage, said hello, and then A$AP said, Rocky said, hey, come in the dressing room. It was just like a small dressing room, like half of this room here, right? And everybody's smoking weed. And then they were playing PlayStation, Mario Kart, Hey guys, you wanna play some? So then my boys were like playing Mario Kart with Rocky, and I'm like,
wow.
Oh man. And then
that's when you're the cool dad.
Yeah. And then I said to his friend, I said, I have to ask you a question. We need to leave, because a lot of it was like you couldn't see, it was like so smoky. So wow. I felt like I have to tell him, like either we have to leave now or tomorrow you don't tell this to your parents, and then we can stay, and then
straight up,
yeah,
That's awesome.
So they see some funny stuff as well.
Yeah,
way,
No, that's dope.
And you guys have grown as a business so much.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember watching the first, I grew up in Florida, early 2000s when I started cultivating.
Yeah.
So my mentors used to fly out here to the big cannabis cups and buy the seeds, and we'd bring them back and we'd test them out. We're trying to find something. We were the ones that, like you said, used to sit with everyone.
Yeah.
They would come back and tell me the stories of, man, I got to meet this guy and we talked about the strain, and then they'd pull the seeds out and be like, about this strain.
Yeah.
And we'd be like, we'd have a group of guys, and it felt very outlawish.
Yeah.
Because at the time it was like, man, this is not where it should be.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to see that.
Were you working in the dispensary or what?
No, in Florida in 2000s, it was highly illegal. So I was underground.
Yeah.
I was with older gentlemen who just, had passion over everything. So I came up with some really passionate guys and got to learn some really cool things early in my career. And this was always, you guys were always one of the top. Like we would watch Strain Hunters and over and over.
Yeah.
And we'd have it. And I mean, it was some of the episodes, if for people listening, if someone hasn't seen this for the brand new, it is unbelievable. It's the craziest movie documentary. And it's in like a multiple part series where they travel the world and literally hunt down landrace genetics and hard to get strains. And along the way, to see how far they go and how crazy it is, unbelievable. Yeah. Like honestly, just what you guys do with that part of things is unlike anyone ever.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
I mean, nobody's doing it to that level, and nobody's cataloging the genetics that in 15 years will probably be gone.
Yeah.
Because there's so many seed producers and everyone's wanting that. Even in Turkey, and even I'm meeting people in Switzerland that would have probably been growing landrace that aren't anymore. So that'll be gone soon. Yeah. So it's just really cool to be here. That's all I wanted to say, man. You guys are at the top. Yeah. And anybody who's been in it for 20 years, like I have, you guys are at the kings. Yeah. Kings of cannabis.
Strain Hunters is of course all props to Arjan who started that with Franco in 2005 or 6, I think.
R.I.P. Franco.
So they made a couple of movies together, of course, but also as kind of, it's not a company. We don't, it's not a coffee shop. It's not like, it's a seed company, but it was more about making documentaries to show the background of what does that cannabis mean to that culture, Because everybody, we all know people look at cannabis in a certain way, right? So it was really an eye opener for a lot of people to show them how it is. How is it in Colombia? How is it where does that hash come from that we smoke here from India? Okay, so it's rolled up with the hands in the mountains, but people don't have a clue, So that was very important for us to show, and it's also kind of like what I said, we want to legalize from the beginning. We think it should be legal everywhere in the world. And you can do activism in different kind of ways, Absolutely. So this was definitely one of them. And unfortunately with Franco, who passed away after the Congo episode, because we were in Congo. And then of course, we got to meet some people from the government and everything, and they wanted us to stay to try to find a cannabinoid that was, good against malaria.
And really cool.
Yeah. And then Franco was staying there and doing research and helping the government and everything. And then unfortunately he contracted malaria. So that's when he passed away 4 years ago. And that was a big tragedy for us. So
rest in peace, Franco, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, man, definitely. Yeah. Thanks.
Wow. Died doing what he loved, though. And you could tell the passion radiating between your whole group, your whole entity, the whole culture in here. How have you been able to, since your start as being basically, I guess what you would call a bud tender, correct? Right? Or what do you call it here? What's the term?
This was a long time ago.
What's the term?
Here's weed dealer or bud tender. Basically.
Yeah, sommelier. Yeah.
How have you managed to breed that culture around you and pick the right partners to get to this level and continue to do what you love every day and feel like you're just living and not really having to work? Do your passion.
Yeah. That's exactly how you say it. That's important to strive for that. I guess you guys have it as well. I mean, you're traveling, doing these shows, and even when you're back home and you're in your facility, you're doing what you love, right?
Absolutely.
And then it doesn't feel like work. So, yeah, man, so many different things came around. Medical cannabis in 2001. Franco actually was already with us, and then he worked there to set everything up and. It was a very complex story, so in the end that didn't work out. In the meantime, with Arjan, when we went to Australia, I started an olive grove over there. little side project, actually with Neville, who, is a very famous grower as well.
Oh yeah. Neville's Haze.
You guys started an olive grove in Australia?
Yeah.
Wow.
Neville was from Australia, and he was a partner in the Red Light coffee shop.
Wow.
In 1997. Yeah. So we worked a few years together, and that partnership was amazing. That was really nice too.
That is legendary.
The Super Silver Haze that he grew in the 90s. I mean, I've never seen anything since, it's really, really amazing.
I used to hear about it. I still hear about it. One of my mentor, he used to say, he was like, there's nothing like the Super Silver Haze. He's like, we used to go to the coffee shop and he would pick it up and he was like, man, it is mind blowing.
Yeah. So after being a bud tender, I prepared everything. I make sure everything in the shops was good. And I remember then Neville was supplying the Super Silver Haze, and then, like I said, it was already kind of illegal, but it was a little bit easier, so it was kind of fun as well.
Absolutely.
So I remember he came up with the car and, he dropped me a few kilos of Super Silver Haze. I had to bring it back to the stash house to make it smaller. And I remember, I can't show it through the microphone, but it's like a football, like 1 pound was about this. And it was like a Velcro ball, when you have to pull it apart.
I know what those look like. Was it like fresh and sticky or like?
Yeah, it was so sticky.
And that was why.
Yeah. And of all the finger hash we made at some point, we had a tennis ball big.
Oh, wow, man.
And that's up to this day, I've never smoked anything stronger than that.
That's that gooey what's your favorite way to smoke hash?
I like Moroccan hash very much.
How do you smoke it when you smoke it?
Well, and used to smoke it back in the day. I started up with tobacco, and then I didn't want to smoke tobacco anymore. Kind of smoked with a pipe, but I didn't really like that so much. So turned to weed. Smoked weed.
Smoking with the weed.
Yeah, and then when the Kali strains came out, I really liked that. Discover all the different strains and flavors and everything. But it was a lot stronger in the beginning, especially, So it's like, man, come on. It's really, you can't be that high every day,
exactly.
doing a job.
Have you smoked a donut with hash rosin?
Yeah. But
in the middle?
People are getting crazy now.
Donut.
Yeah. They'll roll a 2 gram joint of flour and then put a gram of hash rosin in the middle, roll it around.
Yeah.
So that it's
in the
wild.
middle, you can see it kind of burning down. And
we had
Terps Army Lorenzo, they're on that big over there.
Yeah. When it started to become big, there were still cannabis cups. So with the cannabis cups, it was like this, but then packed, And then we also started with the concentrates and everything and dabbing. And, it's just, in the beginning it was crazy. Remember when it just came out and everybody was like going for it,
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like dab contests and stuff. It's like,
what's crazy too is that in the States, you don't see any hash. They don't have any hash knowledge.
No,
really at all.
No.
Like, I mean, you don't get it. You don't see it. It doesn't go there.
It's rosin. It's live rosin and hash rosin.
Yeah, it's much different.
Yeah,
it's much different. But I'm talking about the traditional hashish.
No, not
but we are going to get that same situation when, of course, like I said, we're going to start to grow legal. Like this hash we have here is from Morocco, right? So it's like it's actually strange that I say it now. Like it gets smuggled here and then it ends up in the coffee shop,
Yeah.
So when it's going legal, that's one consequence that is an issue, because I'm not going to say we're going to come up with some
Moroccan hash, right?
Moroccan hash alternative. No, it's going to be rosin. It's going to be still good stuff, but it's going to be more expensive. It's not going to be the flowery taste that Morocco has. It's going to be different.
But you'll be supporting local. You will be supporting the local culture then.
Yeah.
Versus wherever it goes now.
Yeah, exactly.
So there is a difference. Yeah. And I won't lie, the hash rosin that's getting produced right now is mind bending.
Yeah.
It is mind bending, some of the stuff that's coming out.
Lemonade. Tell us about the lemonade.
Yeah.
I like the lemonade. It's probably my favorite one yet.
Yeah, that's a very nice strain. Eh?
We like big flavors.
Yeah, it's the sativa line from Burner. Yeah, like I said, we started a project which kind of is on pause because of the whole COVID situation.
Absolutely.
But I really hope that we can fly again soon because I can't wait to pick this all up. But I love that line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I come in,
line special.
What am I buying? I mean, what am I getting?
Yeah, if I come in, cookies.
Yeah, what would I get?
I make a trip to Amsterdam. I want to come in, Cookies Amsterdam Lounge, my first stop. Which strains am I picking up?
Well, if you guys would come from the States, I would say try some Dutch Cali strains and some hazes and try some Hawaiian snow because that is difficult to get in California, And I mean, you guys come from California, so I can say you can buy some runs or cereal milk, but I mean, you guys have that every day at home.
But we love it.
Yeah,
we're big fans of it. It's great.
Yeah, so
it's good to have the option of both.
Yeah, you have.
You know what I mean, and a connoisseur will always want option of flavors.
I really like the
what mood
pie.
they're in and what they're really vibing because I feel like everyone at the table potentially could be feeling something different.
Yeah,
in each strain, like they like this or you like that. What's your favorite right now? What's your go-to smoke?
Well, I like the Cali strains, a lot, but I wouldn't say I smoke it every day because it's.
What's one that stands out in your mind?
Well, I like we get the classics that we get here. Like the cereal milk and Georgia pie, Gary Payton. I like the lemonade line because they're very consistent.
Yep.
Of course, we have a lot of the sushis at the moment. The Wagyu I like.
Shout out to Team 10 and Boy Stacks.
Yeah, definitely, man. They come up with some dope stuff. We have Skilati on the menu.
See, that's what I'm talking about. You know all these things. And that's what I say. Like, I sense it in your style and your demeanor and all these things. You're a real tastemaker.
Yeah,
and we appreciate that, man. Yeah. For real, it's necessary in this game. And thank you.
Yeah, I must say at some point it was. You guys put up the pace high, and sometimes even when I was in America, I was like, "Why you bring out different strains every month, man? Come on!" So, we have to catch up the whole time, Like we're one step ahead, and you guys are ahead again, And then the strains the black truffle you just mentioned, I just heard about it here, So there's it takes some time before it comes here.
That's good though. You get to vet out the good stuff.
Yeah.
Because all the stuff that we get caught on these waves and then the wave dies so fast that it probably won't even make it to you, which is good. You don't got to worry about it. Like the purple punch wave was tough for us. Everyone hopped on it, man. There's all these different waves going on. So it's always interesting.
Yeah. Like you said before, now it's the candy gassy kinds. And I like to go with the waves, because it's like a perfect time also to move on to something different, And then sometimes you still grab back, I like hash, kind of like an all-round thing because it doesn't fuck me up too much and just, kind of like a nice mellow stoned, So I like that.
So what do you do like more hash, less flour?
I use nowadays because I don't want to use tobacco. We had this tobacco substitute, which is horrible.
I see these on tables and stuff.
Yeah, please ignore them.
It looks like like a old thing of popcorn or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like herbs. It looks like herbs cut up.
I would not want to smoke it.
we have to offer them something to instead of tobacco. You know, we always did that, even when the tobacco ban wasn't there. Preferably, I would put in some CBD weed. You know, because I like that, like alcohol-free beer nowadays. You know, like there's some different strains coming out. Not sure yet why you want to smoke it. Just like a smoke, because it's like. I also don't really understand alcohol-free beer because I don't like the taste of beer. So it's like, why would you drink alcohol-free beer? But to mix it with your tobacco is perfect, you know. So now I can smoke my hash joint like I did before.
So you're smoking it with CBD?
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah. And there's companies.
It's more of a body, and some people do jobs or have things to where they can't have the head change, or they can't, you know what I mean? Like they can't, so they use CBD. I know a few people that use it and swear by it.
There's companies popping up growing really high end now that are trying to do really high end. I saw some,
by the looks of it, it looked like Cali strains, you know?
Yeah.
And then it was CBD weed.
Do you know where it was from?
Switzerland.
Wow.
Like some limoncello.
You know what's crazy is that I've been hearing that a lot of hemp, high end hemp, has been being imported to Switzerland from places like Oregon.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's going on with the demand there, but it must be worth quite a bit to be. That's a far way to travel for hemp.
It makes sense. It's a buffer now. Like what you're talking about is a buffer where it's a better byproduct than tobacco. It's less issues with it. Yeah. And now it has no THC value or very low to where you're not going to feel it. So you just have the hash actually feeling.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really cool. That's very interesting as a smoker.
Yeah.
You know, and then come on.
So that's more for all round. And then when now there's not really any parties or nightlife, but then when there was, I always like to pre-roll some Hawaiian Snow kind of joints, you know, or like some nice sativa, some Kali mist or something, you know.
Keep you talkative, keep you social.
Yeah.
If you're not doing weed, what are you doing? Jiu-jitsu?
What do you like? Actually, I picked up boxing, a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And I really liked it, you know. So I was doing normal training, fitness and everything, but you know, it gets sometimes a bit boring, and then you stop for a while until you kick yourself back. And then I started boxing, and I'm training with some really some champions, you know, that are good friends of us. So I'm really lucky with that. I get really good training. Yeah. And then 2 years ago, I did an official fight in like a tournament. That was a challenge.
Wow.
You know,
how did that go?
Yeah, I won. So in the end, it went good.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so that was fun.
You're a natural born killer.
Yeah, for real.
Business and in the ring.
Yeah, it's nice, you know.
That's awesome.
But I think it's nice to do some different stuff.
Absolutely. Challenge yourself. I admire that. That's inspiring for sure.
And get out of the comfort zone, you know.
And all while you're being a dad and husband and running a bunch of businesses. Yeah. That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
So you're also into music. What do you like to do with music?
Well, that is in the beginning of...
You got a lot of music friends.
Yeah, a lot of music friends. Yeah. But this is amazing because when I was younger, I thought, okay, before I even considered something in cannabis, I wanted to be in music. You know? I was playing drums, playing in the band, smoking weed, having a good time. I thought, this is how I want to spend my life.
Yeah,
you know?
I think in the US at one point, we all wanted to be rappers. Like even if we were never told anyone.
Yeah, exactly. So when I started to go into cannabis, the music thing always stayed, right? So because it doesn't get out of, you know, it's just in you, you know, in your system. So when I met those first guys like Be Real and Cypress Hill, they came already in the 90s, you know, Woody Harrelson.
The originators.
Then, exactly. And then you saw that photo with Rita Marley. That's like 1996 or something, you know, like a long time ago.
See that one.
Yeah. And then like, fuck, man, it's Rita Marley, you know, it's like, this is fucking legendary history.
Bob's mom.
Yeah, exactly. So, that's just a perfect combination, you know?
And that's hospitality. That's the reward from you creating the environment and the experience for the customer.
They're a landmark. I mean, you can tell by the people in the photos, it's literally like unbelievable celebrities. And what's cool is I like to see the celebrities who I wouldn't think smoke weed.
George Clooney.
Like I'll be like, oh, no way. Yeah. You know, this, I'm like, all right, he's part of the team too. Okay. I like that, and then I'll go through and I'm like, all right, that guy, I'm like, oh my God, it's really cool. I mean, this is the spot, bro.
I saw on Instagram Todd McCormick. I don't know if you know him, but probably you do. Very famous guy in California. And on his Instagram, he was smoking weed with Jeff Bezos in the beginning from Amazon.
I saw that.
I didn't know that. I was like, what? He smoked weed? This is exactly what you mean, right?
And now he's breeding.
Yeah. And then you see some people on the wall that, of who you thought, hey, that's funny.
Yeah, it is.
Like Harry Potter is on the wall, And
to be honest, we need you to get Jeff Bezos on board, and then we'll get this thing legal. We'll get it all figured out. I think if you guys,
America be legal,
you guys all come together.
I think he's
on board.
Probably working on it in the background because 100%. I'm sure he also know who's going to supply it through the mail.
He would love to be a part of that if you get it quick.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for what people, Todd P. McCormick is who Joe is referring to. He's a breeder and holds a lot of old school genetics. Yeah, definitely. Old school, heady,
really great genetics.
I think from High Times even he's had a lot to do with stuff like that.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah, and a lot of hazes and a lot of really classic strains. Really great.
I'm loving the hazes out here.
Check out his profile. Yeah.
I feel like we keep hearing stories about guys out here who have hold down hazes for 35 years, 25 years. We get random. We're like, this has been in this guy's hands and he's grown this for 35 years. We're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I don't know almost anybody who's been growing one thing for 35 years in America.
No.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Really cool.
Yeah, that's really great.
You guys have rich genetics and rich history with cannabis. Yeah, it's awesome. So. Yeah. I think once people from America, once this travel opens up a lot, people will be so stoked to get out here. The lounges are clean. Everything's so nice and tidy. The city's beautiful. Yeah. And the smoke is fire.
Yeah.
Like we're smoking fire over here.
Yeah. Nice.
Great
to hear.
It is.
It's been a good experience. It has all around. It's been great. Amsterdam really welcomes you. This is a really welcoming city.
Yeah.
Like all walks of life here. So it's really cool.
Yeah. Amsterdam will always be my base, I think, because like I said, I was born here around the corner, lived in everywhere around here a little bit in the red light district even, and I just love this city.
Yeah, absolutely. What's your day-to-day like? You're mainly out here running things here.
Yeah, it's really it's such a big mix of everying, like
serial entrepreneur.
Yeah, like
what other types of businesses are you involved in?
Well, we have a nutrient line, powder feeding, and that's picking up a lot as well. Because we've been experimenting with it a lot and giving it to a lot of people to try a long time ago already, and we really wanted to get to the market when we were convinced about the product, So we don't have to sell it. It's like, okay, we give it to people. If you want to smoke, if even in the States too, if people want to try it, connect with us, and we'll work something out, and people come back to us with great feedback, So. Wow. So we put a lot of effort in that during COVID also when we couldn't travel. In the seed company, we're doing a lot of changes, like new machinery, equipment, and everything in the production, but also new designs of the seeds packaging and everything, and
slight rebranding.
Yeah, and a lot of new merchandise is coming out also.
Gonna mix some old gear with some new gear.
Yeah.
Get with these new guys and keep embracing the youth and creating the future.
Yeah. I can't wait to do something in the Netherlands. We were not picked as one of the 10. Yeah.
We can help curate some really, really dope things, man. Yeah. We're lucky to call some of these guys friends for sure. So that's some legendary things.
I hope that's going to happen also with the 10 guys, because sometimes it looks a bit like Canada, where the guys with the money want to get in. So I know some of the people with the licenses. Cookies has one, fortunately. So I'm sure they will come up with some fire. And the Plug also, they are the first official ones that have the license. So I can say
big ups to Jack with the Plug, man. Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, that's really dope. So I think the people that are in the experiment are lucky with that, because I was really like fearing that people would be, chosen that don't have
pharmaceutical companies or some random. Yeah,
that would really fuck up the whole system.
Absolutely.
So there's at least they are in, and some other companies too. And then we're still talking with some people because we have the genetics. So obviously, people wanna.
How did it work out with the cookies licensing?
For the For the growing, well, basically it was a lottery. It's a bit of a weird story. There were 150 applicants. Then they chose first 50, and then they did or 40, and then they did.
Was it like anyone could apply, or how did that work?
Yeah, if you come up with a good plan, or
like the States, similar to the States a little bit.
Yeah, it was a little bit weird system that they did a lottery of 50 people, because I would think make it a quality selection, look for the best growers.
Well, you need people that know how to run businesses too, because the success of the business is the success of the grow.
Yeah.
And then vice versa, you know what I mean? So it takes both in. So that's awesome though. I mean, that's interesting. It's a start.
It is.
That's what it takes.
And hopefully they employ Dutch growers.
Yeah.
Hopefully they bring in some of these growers, pay them well. And because I mean, I'm smoking fire out here from smaller guys too. So you got talent out here in the streets,
But the good thing is that the growers, I mean, the facilities, they know that, so the producers, they're gonna connect with these people because they need them. They need them on board, otherwise you don't connect with what the people want to buy. And I've always said in the media and when talking with the government, I said, in the end, there's one person that decides if the experiment is going to be a success. And that's the smoker. The smoker decides if he goes to the coffee shop to buy that legal weed or that he goes to the black market. And don't underestimate the difference. It's not like a big step to go to the black market. It's just checking my Instagram or my WhatsApp and, you have some fire weed in 5 minutes.
You're right.
Great point.
Yeah.
Great point.
So it's not like a big step,
You're very hip on game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously.
That was a key point right there. I would rewind that and listen to that.
No, it is. And that's why it's like, hey, the people want it, figure it out. And that way things can be done right.
And that's the consumer.
That's what everyone wants to do anyways. So,
yeah. And in all the talks with the regulation and with the government, they wanted to make these baggies with like big warnings, like tobacco and like dying babies and photos.
Why?
Like terrible
it's
photos.
not.
And they're like,
we haven't even tested it like tobacco.
No,
Tobacco's tested to, and we haven't even. No, it's just starting off on the wrong foot. But hey, we got
people like Joe out here.
Absolutely, we're blessed in this community. We have pioneers who that get it and that are gonna continue to go for it.
Understand the culture and the youth. Yeah, absolutely. And can really relay that to hopefully the politicians. I'm sure that's what you've been trying to do.
Yeah.
Explain this to that.
Yeah, try to convince them. And in the end, I think we succeeded in making it a little bit less conservative.
Agreed.
It's still going to be a challenge,
Absolutely.
But I think on some parts we gained something. Like with the packaging, I said, look, if you make it too unattractive, they literally wanted to make it unattractive, It was like, look, if you don't make it, I mean, still you want it to be a success, right?
It's like trying to control the clothing or something. Like, I don't know. It's just a little too far. It's a little too far into the intellectual rights.
Yeah.
With the tobacco, I get it, but it's not like that everywhere.
They
want.
No,
it's
US
like
is
they
much
want
different.
You mean they want to control what you like? They want to control. Yeah.
Too much of the brand's intellectual rights.
Yeah.
Like you should. There should be.
You can't advertise on any highway that leads out of state, because they think that you would be driving on that out of state. But it's like, it might live on the next exit, or the next off ramp.
Yeah.
But no, you can't. They have all these weird laws that they're starting to throw
no
in.
Radio,
no TV,
internet.
no radio, no internet.
Not too much.
You obviously
promotion.
know the social media.
You jump through hoops sideways and backwards for a while, and then they get a little bit lighter and a little bit bigger. But the people with their foot in the door first always win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's true. Even here in Amsterdam, we're having big discussions because you might have heard they want to ban tourists from coffee shops.
Yes, they do.
We have these discussions, and then I'm still with the association, so I speak with with the mayor about the policy and everything. And I try to convince, I try to inform them what cannabis culture means. It means if
community.
You guys it wouldn't hold you guys back to come to Amsterdam. You would still come and you would still buy some fire weed somewhere. You can't buy it in a coffee shop, but it wouldn't stop you, And these things are also like, you have to, people have a certain image about cannabis, So informing people is always going to be part of the job.
It's interesting because I was told too that they think that we will only spend money on cannabis and we don't spend a lot other places. And I informed them we just had a Michelin star chef at our house.
Yeah.
The first thing we do when we go to the shop, then we go spend a crazy amount of money at restaurants and all the other fun stuff. I mean, Amsterdam is the whole. It's amazing.
It's
and you're the originators.
Yeah.
So I love that you guys have the crown.
Yeah.
I enjoy that because coming from America, it's awesome to come out here and enjoy a completely different experience.
Yeah. Thanks,
so
man.
awesome.
Yeah, I'm inspired and admire your story. Anybody who has been able to last this long in this type of business, it's like being 10 times as good at just regular business, you know? So shout out to you guys for doing that and like crushing it the whole time and making it look easy. Cause I know it's not. And that's just dope that you allowed us in here today and made some time for us, and you're embracing the youth and embracing the future. And I can't wait to see what's to come for next for Joel Greenhouse and Greenhouse and the whole gang.
Thanks, man. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming over, and thanks for giving me the opportunity to tell that story, you know?
Absolutely, brother. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Episode 20, man. This first smoke of the day. We appreciate it. Joel Greenhouse, Black Leaf, Pack Gods,
White Ashes.
We're out, man.
Peace.
Peace.